Hi friends, welcome to my channel, Shell's Flow Motion. This is your yoga reset before Christmas. This time of year can be so full of excitement, but can also feel super busy and overwhelming and maybe even a little exhausting. So this class is here to help you slow down, release any built up holiday stress, and come back to your body and your breath so you can actually enjoy this holiday season. So we're just going to start off class. If you want to grab a block or something, maybe a pillow, to sit on behind you. You can either start crisscross or kneeling. And we're just going to move through a couple rounds of breath to start class, getting comfy. And if you want to take your fingers and place them to the sides of your rib cage so you can take your full breaths, we're going to try and breathe all the way from the chest into our ribs and then our lower abdomen and all the way into our back body. We often go through whole days without taking a deep breath, so we're just going to spend a couple minutes. We're going to go through 4 rounds of breath, and it's going to be a box breath, so it'll be a 4-count inhale. You'll hold at the top for 4 counts, 4-count exhale, hold at the bottom before we move on to the next breath. So when you're ready, inhaling, hold, exhaling, hold, again, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhaling, all the way into the back ribs, hold, exhale, hold, last one, inhale, hold, and exhale. Turning back to your breath. We're going to move through a few neck rotations. So when you're ready, feel free to inhale your right arm overhead to the left ear or side of the head and pull your head down towards the right shoulder. We're just going to notice how we feel from one side to the other, not judging if you're holding tension, but just observing where your tension goes. I know my other side's a lot tighter than this one today. And releasing, taking the left hand overhead and tilting the opposite direction. Standing tall. With every exhale, releasing tension where you feel it, trying to soften. Repeating on the opposite side. Again, bringing the right hand up, dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. Maybe you have your chin tucked slightly, keeping your spinal alignment extra tall while still allowing that bend through the neck. Releasing, coming back to the left side one more time, placing your hand over the ear or the right side of the head and tilting the left side down, keeping your chin tucked and your spine aligned. Noticing if you feel that in your shoulder blades anywhere, if you feel it down your back, or if it stays targeted to your neck. Releasing that, tucking the chin down, bringing the right hands at the back of the head, and then guiding your nose towards your armpit to the right side, coming into a chin tuck. On your next inhale, releasing the right hand, bringing the left one up, Then sliding your nose towards the left armpit instead. Keeping your spine tall. Again, one more time, sweeping the nose towards the right side, reaching the right hand back, coming into a chin tuck to the right. And sweeping it back to the left for a final chin tuck to the left side. Releasing the hand down, bringing your head back to neutral, and we're going to move through a few chin tucks. With that, it's kind of like making a 30-degree yes, and then pulling your chin back towards your esophagus for the no. So we'll go through 10 of those, moving slowly, not having to bring the chin up super high, but just a little up before tucking it in. 3, 4, moving at your own pace. Noticing how it feels from the front and back of your neck. And when you've reached 10, coming back to neutral. We're going to move through some neck circles, starting off just tilting left and right, maybe swiveling your nose back and forth, preparing for your neck circle if you're having any tension in your neck or shoulders. And when you're ready, we're going to go in slow motion, starting with chucking your chin down towards your chest and rolling towards the right side, stopping at your shoulder and rolling back forward before turning to the left, not coming all the way back behind you just yet, but just moving through the front side of the circle. And when you've moved through the front half a couple of times, feel free to bring your nose and chin back behind you, gazing backwards, coming into a full circle with control through the back of the neck. Once you've done a few circles one way, feel free to go the opposite direction, moving at your own pace. Noticing after a few circles if you feel a little looser, if it feels a little easier, or if it stays tight and stiff. Noticing those signals can sometimes tell you if you need to stretch further or longer, or if you need to move past the pose. So not judging how you feel from one way or another, but trying to listen to your body within the posture. When you're done, coming back to neutral, out of your seat, we're going to come to tabletop. We'll have a few more seated, but before we go through those, we're going to get off our legs so that if they're falling asleep, we get a little blood flowing. So we're going to come to tabletop, knees over hips, hands and wrists over shoulders. And we're going to just go through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhaling, dropping the belly low, letting your gaze go to the sky. And exhaling, gazing down, protracting through the shoulders, rounding through the tailbones. And again, inhaling forwards, dropping the belly low, tilting the pelvis, and exhale, round through the shoulders, coming into cat. Maybe you rock slightly, forwards and backwards within the postures, moving at your own pace, moving with your own breath. Maybe you twist side to side as you move through, opening through the side ribs, through the side of your hips.
not judging what you look like, but just allowing some movement. And when you're ready, maybe you move into a full circle, coming into a drunk cat-cow. And you want to make sure that your head is still moving with your body as you do that. So when you drop your belly low, your head's to the sky. And when you're rounding, your chin is tucked. On your next inhale, we'll come back to neutral. And we're going to move through a few bird dogs. So this time we're going to leave the right leg planted, sending the left leg back. And then we're going to come off that right hand. You want to make sure that wrist is aligned with your shoulder, extending it out in front of you. And we're going to crunch in. We're just going to do 5 of these. If you feel unsteady, check your hip to knee and your wrist to shoulder, because you might be a little off center. 2, 3, engaging through the core. 4, 5. Placing the hand and knee back down. We're going to repeat on the opposite side, this time picking up the right leg and the left arm, making sure your shoulder is stacked and your knee is stacked. We're going to crunch in. 1, 2, 3, 4, last one, 5. Coming back down to tabletop, and we'll come down onto our knees to stretch out our wrists. Alright, bring your hands to prayer hands, bringing your shoulders down and back, taking a moment to inhale here, and exhaling. On your next inhale, flipping the hands to reverse prayer. Again, inhaling the shoulders down, this time trying to maybe press your hands up slightly, adding a little resistance if you couldn't already feel the stretch. Rolling out the wrists, going clockwise and counterclockwise, moving as slow as you can. Moving as slow as you can. So, we're going to inhale our arms up, overhead. And we're going to lean towards the left side, allowing your right hip to kind of pop out towards the right, pulling the left hip in as you lean. Maybe you release your hands and your left hand touches the mat. Maybe you can get your elbow to the mat. Moving at your own pace. And then you can start hinging forward, kind of coming to a twisted child's pose. Keep inching forward. Coming to the right side now. Now your twisted child's pose is to the right. Before opening up slowly towards the left side. Elbow staying on the mat. Before lifting off the elbow. Extending the left arm up. Maybe the right arm comes to meet it. And we come back to center. We're going to repeat that the opposite direction. So hinging the hips, popping the left hip out, rib cage first, pulling the right hips in slightly. Maybe the right arm drops to the floor. Maybe you keep sliding till the elbow touches the mat. Maybe you hinge, twisting forward, coming to a twisted child's pose. before working your way to a neutral child's pose. This time extending the arms for a moment, dropping the forehead to the mat, and then coming back up slightly, twisting to the right side, leaving the left elbow planted, opening up through the side body, extending the right arm up. Maybe you come up off the elbow. Maybe your left hand comes to meet your right, and you come back to center. Baby back bend with the hands interlaced, and releasing the hands down, getting the knees forward. Maybe you do one rock back onto the feet, stretching through the shins. Flip back onto the sit bones, and we'll rock backwards, coming onto our backs, taking a moment to roll as many times as you need. All right, and when you're ready, feel free to keep your arms interlaced around your knees, and you can rock left and right. Maybe you pull the hips up slightly, making little circles on your lower back. Making sure you go both directions. Moving at your own pace, only making as big of a circle as it feels good for you. Maybe you inhale the legs straight up to the sky, pointing and flexing the toes. And reaching the hands for the big toes, coming into happy baby, rocking left and right. Maybe your knees reach towards the floor or the mat. And on your next exhale, slowly releasing the legs down to the mat, letting your arms go to the sides, and taking a few breaths as we prepare to close class. Releasing any tension out of the forehead, relaxing the eyebrows, releasing any smile off of your cheeks, allowing your face to go slack, allowing the shoulders to melt into the mat, releasing any tension held in your arms and the fingers, allowing your spine to decompress, your hips to fall into the mat.
This season can be so loud, busy, and full, but here in this moment, you're allowed to just take a rest. There's nothing that you need to fix right now. There's nothing left to wrap or prepare before the holidays. You don't need to earn this rest. You don't need to perform to get this peace. You're allowed to just take it and let this practice be a small gift to yourself. Something steady, grounding, and kind. And as you rest, silently offer yourself one intention for the days ahead. Something simple, like gentleness, patience, or ease. When you're ready, feel free to start wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe you start fluttering the eyes. And on your next inhale, feel free to send the left arm above your head, preparing to lie on your side. Getting ready to close practice. Feel free to take as many breaths in this position as you'd like. And when you're ready, feel free to meet me in seated to close the rest of class. I want to say thank you for practicing with me this year. I'm wishing you a peaceful, grounded, and gentle Christmas. I hope it's everything that you want it to be, and I hope you have a great New Year's.